Mrs. Russell, we're going to be having dinner in about 15 minutes, all right? Let me just hold on to your cell phone for safekeeping. Hi, how's it going? How's the weather there? No way!
As a mandated reporter, it's important to remember that all you are legally required to do is report. You're not an investigator or a judge. Reporting is your individual responsibility and can't be delegated or passed on to anyone.
You are an individual reporter and you are responsible to make the report. You cannot simply rely on your supervisor or some other administrator to make the report. And so failure to do so means that you are still liable and I will come after you.
While your facility may require you to notify a supervisor or administrator, this does not relieve you of your legally required reporting duties.
A supervisor, an administrator, anybody who's your boss, however you want to define it, they cannot tell you to not report something. No matter what their rules or regulations are internally, you have an obligation to report, and they cannot tell you to not report. If they're doing that, they're absolutely in violation of the law.
You must report if a resident reports abuse to you, if you have witnessed or have knowledge of abuse, or if you reasonably suspect that abuse has occurred.
The reasonable suspicion is just simply whether you think that abuse has occurred. Do I believe that abuse has occurred? It's just a gut-level feeling that you might have. If you're thinking about it and you're thinking, should I report this? The answer is always going to be yes, because if you're engaging in this thought process, it's reasonable suspicion that there's been abuse.
The procedure is simple. First, you must immediately report by telephone to the long-term care ombudsman or local law enforcement.
Anyone who observes abuse or reasonably suspects abuse simply picks up the phone. The numbers usually are posted in most facilities in several different locations. Just pick up the phone, make the call to the ombudsman or the local law enforcement agency nearest you.
The initial phone report from a mandated reporter is not a lengthy process. The name of the facility, the resident involved, if they know any of the employees that might be involved, if it was that type of a report, the time it happened, the date it happened.
After they make that phone call, they must fill out the SOC 341, and they have 2 working days to do that.
The form you use for reporting is the SOC 341. Your facility has copies of the SOC 341 and must make them available. Additionally, your local long-term care ombudsman can give you forms and answer any questions you may have.
While all information on the SOC 341 is very important, please pay special attention to the following. Section A is victim identification information. The victim does not have to participate in the reporting process, and there may be more than one victim. Section B identifies you as the person making the report. Remember, the only individuals who will have this information will be the investigative or enforcement agencies receiving the report. Section D includes information on the type of abuse. Use your best judgment when identifying the specific kind of abuse that may have occurred. Section E is for comments or observations. You also need to list signs of abuse or neglect. Include any specific behavior or statements of the victim.
Section G is for you to list any other individuals that may have knowledge of the incident, the victim, or the alleged abuse. Section H identifies the suspected abuser. You need to provide as much information as possible. Section I identifies the date and to whom you made the telephone report. You must list the name of the person you reported to.
This particular form is available normally in the facility. However, if they don't have one, we will see that they get one by either mailing it to them or delivering it to them in person at the facility.
Again, you are a mandated reporter of known or suspected elder or dependent adult abuse. You are the one who must report immediately by phone to law enforcement or the ombudsman. You are the one who must follow that with a written report within 2 working days. For you, the law is clear. Reporting is your individual duty.